So, hello there. Time for a new video, apparently. Because yeah, I'm bored. Same reasons as before, I guess. Um, so this is the second type of video I'm going to be doing. I might do a third, I'm not sure yet. But I'm not, I have ideas for that. Anyways, this is my self-critique portion, I guess, playlist, whatever. I have to remember to make a new playlist. And the first thing anyone out there and the first thing I want anyone out there to know about me when I'm producing videos and maintaining this channel is that I never lie. Ever. I might be wrong about something, or I might have been, misinformed about a topic, but I'm never going to lie. I said that I intended to do an honest criticism and review of my own stuff and be towards it the same way I am towards Vexed, more or less. Um, there is the thing of I do think that I'm a bit more genuine than him, so I can't exactly catch myself lying, especially because I'm reviewing fanfics. But I'm criticizing myself now. I'm starting with one of my earlier stories, and I don't intend to go through every story, but I'm doing it for the same reason I started with Vexed's earlier videos, because I want to feel where he comes from and I want to feel where he goes. Um, like I'm not going to cover every story I did. There's like 30 of the fuckers, and I'm just not interested in that. Um, and some of them are just bad. And like I could spend 17 videos shitting all over my own story to make a point, but I don't feel like it. Uh, I have too many. But I'll cover those that I consider worth talking about, in my own opinion, and I will cover those offered to me by other people, like people on my Discord server, and people in the comments on the videos. I will listen if y'all have input. Eventually, once I've got this kind of down, finding something to screen cap, for instance, for this was really difficult. Because the only other resource I had was to go in after the fact, edit the entire thing to like put a picture across the whole top, and then export it for like 3 hours because my toaster sucks. Um, so have a meme, I guess. I don't know if this is funny or inappropriate, but have fun. Um, Eventually, as I was saying before I tangented, I will take submissions of stories to cover to an extent. I don't want to cover ones that like people just want me to shit all over. I don't want to do that. I'm not that guy. Um, I scripted this, but I'm doing the thing over and over again because I'm allowing myself to tangent. So I'm going to stop doing that, and I'm going to start the video. Mild warnings for character deaths and feelings. Story links will be in the description unless I do a dumb and forget them. Bets on me doing a dumb because I'm a dumb. Um, they're very old. They're not reflective of my current writing styles and trends, especially the first one. Um, Anyways, on with the show, and I hope you enjoy this. So, I'm going to start with an explanation of the story. This is kind of how these formats are going to be. These videos for my stories are going to be formatted as like why I made the story. Um, so growing up, this song was weirdly important to me and like weirdly prevalent. Prevalent. Prevalent? Why would? Okay. My nana or grandmother, if you prefer, used to sing it for me all the time. Upset from nightmares, sing the song. Vegetable fit because I was a child, sing the song. Sydney. Yeah, I mean she is a churchy lady, so Sydney, skinny, getting my shots, just boredom and getting antsy, sing the damn song. It always worked for some fucked reason. Um, and it's so entrenched in my head and my heart as a song with an emotional meaning that anytime I think of those, that is in the list of songs that pop up. There are other songs, but of course, but that one is always on the playlist, if you know what I mean. So when I wanted to make an emotional story of pains and sads, this choice was easy. Like, that's the song that first popped up in my mind, and the title was catchy enough that I figured I could make a thing. In hindsight, I feel like Yang would have been a better target for this, but I didn't think about that at the time. And I didn't actually think about that until I sat down. I have as much sense of songwriting, writing rhythm, and like putting songs to illustration as Trump has an understanding of quantum physics. Sue me. And if any of you fucks get upset that I just said Trump isn't a quantum physicist, I swear to God, he's not. I'm not. You could replace Trump with me in this joke. Calm your tits. Now, normally I would discuss the themes here, the themes of the story that I set up and like my idea for it. But like, it's on the tin. Ruby does a die, people do a sad, they sing a song, and we all have a cry. There's not much theme going on here beyond that, sadly, so I can't get into it. So this pilot for the series will probably be a short video, hopefully, because I have not learned to talk for long periods of time yet. There will be dead air in this, like for a couple seconds now and again while I take a drink. For example, I can't help it. Allergy season combined with I'm not trained to do this are kind of giving me a hard time. But, I mean, it's less work for me, I guess. I do want to point out that for some fucked reason, I'm still using my grammar editor and checking my capitalization for a script that no one else will see. I don't know why, but according to the script, I spent an extra hour like making sure to edit this for grammar and stuff. Past Twist is a dumbass. Um, Generally speaking, admittedly, Past Twist is Twist from yesterday, but Past Twist is a dumbass. So I'm gonna start with the first, like with the original "You Are My Sunshine," my first one. I think that's so. This story, the original of the Sunshines, not the Redux. The titles are the same aside from Redux, and they have the same picture. Is I think it's my earliest story posting on this profile. I think it might be my second earliest, but it's definitely my. It's in that like area. And dear fucking God, does it show it in so many ways. Some are big and dumb, and I'll talk about those in a second. Some are little and littler. I Words are hard. I'm a writer. Some of my mistakes are big and dumb. Some of them are smaller and annoying, but not awful. And I genuinely don't know if I'm just beating myself up for them or not. But let's get this over with, shall we? I'd like to keep this under an hour. Yeah, you all remember the last video. Even if you didn't watch it, you can look on my channel and see the fucking time marker. Um, so first and foremost, when writing this, I know I knew because I did another story right after this where I keep this rule. But Grimm don't leave carcasses long enough to be searched through. They don't. They dissolve. So having that be the thing that like they have to panic and do doesn't make a lot of sense. What would have been better would be to use the smoke they produce when they die and the remaining nevermore feathers, or like maybe the debris from the trees and stuff that I set the original in because I set it in like dense woods. um, to mask like the area. Anything would have been more accurate to lore and a bit more like sensible than using their bodies. Smoke and debris would also be able to like mute Ruby's crying because like she's not unconscious. You know what I mean? I didn't think about that. I don't think I thought about that in either actually. Um, the second big mistake that I make in this is like a love, an obsessive love of run-on sentences and commas. Like seriously, go and read the first one. Whole paragraphs are made with like 12 commas and two sentences. It's bad. It's bad by my standards. Like if I was just flipping through, I would not read the story after like just the run-ons. Um, yeah, I mean, it's not ludicrous, mind you, but it kind of grates on me a bit each time I notice it. Um, and this is part of the thing that I mentioned ago where I might be harder on myself than I normally would be on another story for this kind of stuff. I don't know. Whatever. The third mistake is in using the other characters, or rather, in not using them. I don't describe the scene setup. I don't describe the characters or what they do. Everyone congregates at the start, everyone searches at the start. But after that, they essentially turn into rocks, aside from Yang and Ruby. Not including other characters, one of whom is actually a famous singer in canon. Damn it, past twist. Was a massive failing, and one I addressed in the Redux. So I'm not gonna like super shit on myself for that one because I did recognize that and fix that. Past twist did fix that. Um, other than these, I can't find any more holes worth commenting on, really. Oh wait, dear God, did I write in first person? I don't. I suck at first person now, much less back then. Damn it, past twist, make some good decisions for once in your fucking life. Um, you like I really should have known, but no, that's a lie. I don't know better now. I'm still a dumbass. I wrote the script last night at 2 in the morning. um, so I can't even like berate myself. Um, so now we have the Redux. I basically I went back, I read the original story, I identified the elements and things that I liked. I think a year later, maybe two, and I rewrote the whole thing, top to bottom. I changed the scene, I changed the setup, I changed how the characters do, I changed who does the singing. I did a lot of changing. Um, so this is technically a separate story, so I should probably like discuss themes and stuff, and I would in like future, but the themes are the same, so I'm just gonna move on. So first of all, I find the premise of this one more grounded because the premise of this one is a routine sort of sensor planting mission, like in the forest where they do initiation, like on the outer edges to like track Grim coming in and going out, so they kind of know what's there, more or less. Um, this sort of job is routine to my like to what I would think. Like you're gonna need to replace these just because weather and stuff, and animals, and I mean even Grim like knocking one over. Um, I find it more likely that they would be doing this at the time that this story is set, which is while they're still in Beacon, rather than an unsupervised scouting expedition by themselves, except for Pilot Boy. Because Pilot Boy is nearby. Um, I think both premises make sense, but I find this one more grounded for like the reasons that I listed and some also probably silly personal reasons. The escalation into the fight that leads to her death is also more well illustrated, and that to me adds a whole nother like layer to the entire affair in a way the original just didn't have. It just lacked that. There was no like realism behind what was going on to set it up to like be like, this is a thing that can happen. How does this make you feel? Particularly the context that Ruby makes a very good natured, very in character for her mistake, which is protecting Weiss, and that is what leads to her death, makes it all the better to me as well as like a story. Uh, because now all of the characters, like, or all of the characters, you've named two. Now the characters are in a place doing a thing that they would reasonably be doing and suffering consequences for things they would reasonably be doing. And the simple setup of these things, like, to me, just makes the entire situation better. You know what I mean? I mean, maybe you do, maybe you don't. I'll find out later. Um, so in this, I discovered two things. First is my love of describing things is in full swing and bloom here. And though it in some cases it really does add to the drama and context of everything, like I was just talking about, in others it does sort of bloat things. There are places where like I didn't need to describe a thing as detailed as I did, but I did anyways, and I don't know why. I think Past Twist was just being a dumbass and enjoying and describing things a little bit too much, which is fine. Um, I wrote this. It's unfortunate, but it's not a deal breaker. You know what I mean? And neither of the large number of like straight up errors that came from this situation, because there was just so much that I was writing and describing that I made mistakes. I wrote with so many layers in this story, I even confused myself. And when you like are writing a thing and you end up confusing you, or if you make a plan and you've confused yourself, then you have made a terrible mistake, sir. Madam Cactus. Just well played, Past Twist. You dumb bastard, you. My script says to have a drink on hand to drink loudly for comedic effect, but my drink is empty, and I forgot to get another one. So, use your imaginations, I guess. The most interesting man in the world taking a shot, except it's a cactus. There you go. There's your image. Uh, I'm not making that image. I could, but I'm not. It probably exists. Um, a big plus to me in the story is, as an improvement over the original, is that all the characters act and react, rather than Blake and Weiss just kind of stopping. And they don't just go along with everything either. They don't like just chill. Like Pilot Boy explains what he's doing, why he's doing it. Weiss tries to stay calm and keep everyone like under control a little bit for unstated but obvious reasons. Grim are attracted to negative emotion. Uh, Also noise. Um, Yang is protective and desperate and smashy smashy. Because obvious reasons. And Blake is she's quiet and in the background a little bit, but even she tries to bandage the wounds, make her comfortable, and figure out what to do. Like you can tell she's trying to figure stuff out. And brave little Ruby sees, listens to Pilot Boy, and knows like the few slim chances she has of not dying will cripple her and probably her team. And she doesn't want to do that, especially for what is probably not going to work out. Like, in the story, I illustrate very clearly that they can't get back to Vale in time, probably, for her to not die, and even if they do, she's going to be paralyzed. Because Ruby makes a comment that she can't feel the quill in her leg. And I think it was Weiss surmised. This part's not scripted, so I didn't actually note it. I think it was Weiss realized it was probably it probably hit her spine, and that means she's not walking again. Likely ever, and even if she does, then she's not huntressing. And all of this leads to my favorite moment in the entire story, where Ruby accepts what's happening and what's going to happen, because she knows the odds are impossible. I'm actually getting kind of upset just like thinking about it. And she like chooses not to deal with that. She takes the medicine that the pilot has, which the reason he has it is kind of morbid too. He has the medicine because like if his ship goes down, he doesn't want to get eaten alive, so he has like an overdose thing. It's basically a suicide like syringe, but morphine. So Ruby, he gives that to them, and then Ruby asks for it because better that than being paralyzed and making all of her family miserable, in her opinion, because Ruby is the self-sacrificing protag that everyone knows she is. My second favorite moment is when she. So that's my favorite moment is when she just like accepts what fate is, for the sake of her team, and moves on. My second favorite moment is that I have them actually like start singing to her together. It's a good moment. It's a good set of moments. Because like as things move forward, Yang starts to get upset, so Weiss steps in, then Blake steps in. I think it was a bit melodramatic to add in a rainstorm, to like punctuate things. I think that was a bit melodramatic, but that kind of feels silly as a complaint given the nature of the story as a melodramatic tragedy story. So, funnily enough, though, I used the gods as a romantic reason, like a classical romantic, not a "oh, I love you" romantic reason for the rain, and now we know they exist and to pay attention to Remnant at large, so I'm just gonna retcon in that, yeah, no, the gods were upset. We're just gonna retcon that in now, because Games Workshop does not have a copyright on retconning. Please don't sue me, I said your name. I might censor that. That might be a bleep. So what do I think of the story, like overall? Well, I think both are good stories. The original is decent and faster and a bit more punchy, like for it. But the second is like, and it should be expected to be, better by far, to my opinions. It's got better world building to back everything up that's happening, silly as that is in a one shot, I guess. It's got better reasoning for them to be out here, and even a better set of events that lead to the premise. Events that work with the characters and how they work, and how the Grim function to, like, let this happen. So it's like, it's not contrived why this is happening to her. It makes sense all across the field. All the characters make sense. Everything makes sense, and I like that in Redux. I feel a sneeze coming on, and it's really upsetting me. I'm proud of both stories, but I'm more proud of the Redux. I guess that should be expected, given that that was me going back with like 2 years more like understanding how to write and stuff, and then doing that. Feel free to check out both stories and drop your own opinions on them or here. This is assuming Future Twist is a smart boy and remembers to link them in the description. He probably won't, though. All twists are kind of dumb. past, present, and future. It's a rule of the cactus. Um, so that's the end of the video. Um, I wanna, and I need to start remembering to do this. I want to give a big thanks to my patrons: Espa, Zager, the Chaos King, the Impossible Muffin, Private Welger, Snackington, you know who you are, Digi Demon Lord, Cheeseberry, and Greg Gibson. If I remember to link the Patreon, will also be in the description. If not, I'm an idiot. Drop a like, comment your thoughts, scream at me if I forgot to link something, maybe. Subscribe for this, my response series, and more various series as time goes on, because I have more planned. I'm going to do the next Ruby Vexed video probably this coming week. Maybe this coming weekend, I'm not sure. Or I'm going to do the scripting for it. I don't know if I'm going to record it yet. I'm going to start doing Adele videos at some point. I want to get better at editing because I'm thinking of trying out my hand at AMVs, but I'm not sure. And I'm also thinking of like a few other things. I'm even considering like some Let's Plays and stuff. But nah. Subscribe if any of these sound like something you'd be interested in yelling at me about. Have fun, stay safe. Remember to pat your Ruby. And good night.